This is Santa Cruz del Escalote, the most crowded island on Earth. It's just 1% of a square kilometer in size, yet 816 people squeeze their entire lives into this tiny space. The island is so full that some people do their daily workouts right next to dog feces. The chaos of life here has forced new adaptations I could never have imagined. Since the moment we arrived, we've been constantly surrounded by people. No matter where we turn, people emerge from every corner, every doorway. Finding a moment of solitude on these crowded streets is simply impossible. The density is overwhelming, a constant stream of faces, voices, and movement. It feels like the entire population is always outside, living their lives in public view. There's no personal space, no quiet corner to retreat to. Every house here is a world of its own, with dozens of people living together in incredibly tiny rooms. We stepped into one of these homes to understand what life is truly like. The air was thick and the space was tight, filled with the sounds of a large family. I asked a woman we met inside a question that I was almost afraid to hear the answer to. How many people live in this room? Her answer was straightforward: about 10. She then told me that this was just an average room in an average house. She said I would be shocked if I saw how some of the other families live. But as I would soon discover, these cramped houses are not the biggest problem these people face. There's something else that makes life here so extremely terrible. A challenge that casts a long shadow over their daily existence. The first clue to this bigger problem is something you notice right away. There are no beaches. This is an artificial island built by fishermen over generations using coral, stone, and landfill. They settled here to be closer to the rich fishing waters, but in doing so, they created an island with no natural resources. That means no fresh water. Every single drop of drinking water has to be brought in from the mainland by boat. This reliance creates a constant state of uncertainty. If the weather is bad or the boats can't make the journey, the entire island goes thirsty. Water isn't the only thing missing. There's no space for agriculture, so all their food, apart from seafood, must be imported. There are no doctors or hospitals either. The only medical facility is a small health post, staffed by a single nurse. For any serious medical emergency, residents must take a boat to the mainland, a journey that can take up to 2 hours. This is a life-or-death gamble, especially when the seas are rough. We spoke to a mother who lost her child because they couldn't get to a hospital in time. Her story was heartbreaking, a stark reminder of the fragility of life on this isolated rock. Perhaps the most shocking aspect of life here is the complete lack of a sewage system. There is no plumbing, no toilets as we know them. Waste is either disposed of directly into the sea or collected in bags and thrown into the surrounding water. The ocean that provides their livelihood is also their toilet. This creates a severe sanitation crisis. The smell can be overpowering in certain areas, and the risk of disease is constant. Children play in the same waters where waste is discarded, and the consequences for public health are dire. It's a paradox. The sea gives them life, but it also threatens it. Despite these immense challenges, what I found wasn't misery, but an incredible sense of community. Because space is so limited, everyone knows everyone. Doors are never locked. Children are raised by the entire community, moving freely from one house to another. If one family runs out of food, their neighbors share without a second thought. This collective spirit is their most powerful survival mechanism. They've turned their biggest limitation, the lack of space, into their greatest strength. They rely on each other for everything, creating a social fabric that is stronger than any I have ever witnessed. One of the most unique adaptations is their use of the surrounding water. With no land to spare, the sea becomes their backyard, their playground, and their highway. Kids learn to swim before they can walk. They play games in the water, diving off piers and navigating the narrow channels between houses in small canoes. We saw a group of teenagers who had set up a floating soccer pitch, a makeshift field built on a wooden platform. It's a brilliant example of their ingenuity and their ability to find joy and normalcy amidst extreme conditions. But the island's future is uncertain. Rising sea levels pose an existential threat to this low-lying man-made island. A powerful storm could wipe it off the map entirely. The government has offered to relocate the residents to the mainland, providing them with new homes and opportunities. However, many of the older residents refuse to leave. This island is the only home they have ever known. It holds their history, their ancestors, and their identity. They would rather face the risks of the rising sea than abandon their community. The younger generation, however, feels differently. They see the limitations of the island. There are no jobs here besides fishing, and the local school only goes up to the 10th grade. For a higher education or a different career, they must leave. We talked to a young man named Carlos. He dreams of becoming an engineer. But to do that, he knows he must say goodbye to his family and his home. His story represents the deep conflict facing the island's youth, a choice between loyalty to their roots and the pursuit of a better future. Leaving this island, I was left with a profound sense of awe and unease. I can't forget what I saw: the resourcefulness, the resilience, the incredible strength of community was inspiring. But I also can't forget the harsh realities: the lack of basic sanitation, the constant risk of disease, and the looming threat of the ocean. Santa Cruz del Islote is a place of unbelievable contradictions. It's a testament to the human ability to adapt and find happiness in the most difficult circumstances. But it's also a powerful warning about the consequences of overpopulation and our changing planet. It makes you question what we truly need to live a fulfilling life. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey as fascinating as I did, please like and subscribe for more documentaries.